Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to fix my cringy old comic. The first and my biggest enemy, also the biggest eyesore of my comics, are the panels. Of course, the paneling I'm talking about is Vertigo scrolling comics. I have no experience in manga paneling, so in this video I'm only going to talk about the scrolling ones. If you look at my old comics, you will see that it's very claustrophobic. There is no room to breathe. You feel like you can barely read the words. I always try to fit 3 panels in one page. If you're doing comics that are similar to mine, 3 panels in a comic is very claustrophobic. Take it from someone who has an iPhone 7. The way everything is small, you want to try to make everything as big as it can be so the readers don't have a hard time reading it. And this also goes for speech bubbles and the dialogue. Not knowing how to panel my comics all these years and only feeling like recently I finally got the hang of it, you can imagine how much time I have spent with the old revamping like the old episodes just because I was so bad at it. And yeah, paneling takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of time to get comfortable with the kind of paneling that works for your comic, and also just kind of knowing the basics of paneling. If you guys would like a video about how I panel my comics, a more in-depth video and whatnot, feel free to leave them down in the comments. So my next issue with my comic, with my old episodes, is the drawings. Now the drawings are not a huge problem for me. I try not to redraw the old episodes just because I value progress. I think it's really nice to see how a comic has grown artistically. So I only redraw the episode if I really cannot tell what the character is doing, or if the perspectives are really fucked. So it really depends on the severity of the situation. Moving on, I also want to talk about the speech bubbles. It's basically the same as like my drawings. They were really small and you couldn't read properly. One thing I also the size is one thing that I fuck up. The colors, I swear to God, even someone who doesn't draw their own speech bubbles and just makes like a circle out of speech bubbles, even I can fuck that up. Can you imagine that? Basically, the colors are too pale, and because all my dialogues are in white, when the colors are too pale, you cannot read what they're saying. Basically, there were some episodes where even the dialogues were too saturated and whatnot, and it really hurts the eye. I don't know why I chose those colors. I also try to make it a point where I don't try to fit too much dialogue in one canvas. I tend to do that in my old episodes just because I have like OCD or something. I want to like make them all in one canvas, which I wouldn't advise you to do it now. Try to make your dialogues as breathable as possible. You know, no one wants to read a comic that's filled with dialogues. So if one paragraph has like too much words and you think you can kind of separate it in another speech bubble, do that. Finally, my second biggest enemy is dialogue. So I'm very bad at script writing. You could even say I don't even write for some of those episodes where I just spontaneously decided, I want to do something with this episode and I have no script for it. Hence, it gets really cringy. Reading back at it again, it sometimes gets so cringy I want to scrape my eyeballs out. But I make it a point where I don't completely change the dialogue to the point it affects the storyline, because in the end, the old readers are not going to know what happened. So I always also try to cut down on the dialogues as well, because I personally don't like too many dialogues in my comics and only retain the useful talking information. I wouldn't have known any of this in the beginning of my comics. This was something I also had to learn later throughout my newer episodes. So yeah, I would say I have grown a lot from this comic and I'm really proud of it, really. It's just going back and revamping the old episodes were a pain in the ass. I think it's okay to revamp your old episodes, but not to go overboard with the revamping. Only revamp what is necessary, only revamp what can change the perception of your newer audience. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys again for watching my videos. We are actually almost close to 500 subscribers now, which is so insane. My channel has grown a lot this year. It's insane. My most popular video, of course, is how to make money on your webcomics, and yeah, I definitely want to make more videos like this in the future. It's just that I always want to experience it beforehand before talking about a topic. These are just mistakes I used to make as a beginner. Hopefully it helps you out. Don't make the same mistakes as I did. Also, people have different ways of making their comics. So really, I can't say the same for everyone, but this is how I usually do my comics. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe. If you like what I do, feel free to support me on Patreon. I usually post work in progress, illustration downloads, and I also do behind the scenes and shoutouts. Or you can also support me on Ko-fi. Feel free to check out my comics, links in the description. And till then, I shall see you in the next video. See ya!